Dr. Brom sat at his workbench, puzzled and kind. Hector tapped a wooden handle. Beep glowed softly. "Why do I feel so many things?" Dr. Brom whispered, toys and gadgets listening closely nearby quietly tonight. Dr. Brom decided to build a feeling finder machine to understand his heart. He sketched gears and pipes, humming softly. "Hector, will you help?" he asked, while Beep blinked encouragement with bright little sounds happily. They hunted through drawers and jars, sorting copper cogs in glowing jars. Hector clinked happily. Beep puffed tiny bubbles that smelled faintly like lemon. Dr. Brom laughed, feeling hopeful and nervous about the first test. The feeling finder sputtered and coughed, sending tiny sparks across the bench. Hector fumbled a screw with a clumsy tap. Beep blinked, blue and orange. Dr. Brom sighed, then smiled, promising to try again tomorrow. That night, a little bubble rose from the kettle, trembling like a tiny cloud. It whispered, "I am sadness." Dr. Brom listened with quiet wonder. Hector tapped the bench gently as Beep hummed a comfort. Dr. Brom knelt and spoke softly. "Sadness, would you like a cup of tea?" The bubble bobbed, curious. Hector offered a tiny blanket. Beep blew a soft glow that smelled faintly like chamomile and smiled. Sadness told a little story about losing a ribbon, voice quivering. Dr. Brom nodded and wrote loss on a label. Hector listened with gentle taps. Beep's glow pulsed like a calm heart in reply softly. They placed sadness in a glowing jar on a shelf labeled Feelings. Dr. Brom promised to remember her story. The workshop felt warmer and quieter. Hector leaned on the jar, and Beep hummed a lullaby. A hot, prickly bubble burst from the boiler with a loud pop. It shouted, "I am anger." Tools rattled. Dr. Brom breathed slowly and said, "Tell me why you roared." Hector held the hammer listening. Anger stomped and told how a toy broke, voice crackling. Dr. Brom validated the feeling and said it was okay to be loud sometimes. Hector tapped twice, and Beep blew cool bubbles to calm sparks. Dr. Brom set a soft corner with cushions where anger could stomp safely. "It's fine to be big, then rest," he said. Anger thumped a rhythm, then sighed. Hector hummed a tune while Beep glowed. A prickly green bubble peeped from a jar, whispering it wanted another shiny gear. Dr. Brom asked gentle questions, helping it name jealousy. Hector offered a spare cog, and Beep gave a small sympathetic chirp. They held a sharing circle. Dr. Brom invited the bubble to look at its own bright ideas. The bubble softened when friends traded, learning that wanting can be a signal to ask or share instead. A tiny golden bubble popped up, giggling and ringing like bells. It said, "I'm joy." Dr. Brom laughed, clapped, then danced. Hector spun in a happy wobble, while Beep flashed bright sparkles all around together. Joy sprinkled tiny glitter that made everyone smile. Dr. Brom wrote joy on a jar and set it by the window where sunlight could kiss it. Hector hummed, and Beep made a chirpy melody. As the shelf filled, feelings bumped and jiggled, mixing voices and colors into a noisy puzzle. Dr. Brom felt small and unsure. He sighed, saying, "Maybe feelings need names and places." Hector leaned in, curious. That evening, Dr. Brom felt weary and admitted he did not know how to care for every bubble alone. "I need help," he murmured. Hector nudged his paw, and Beep circled with soft, patient lights. In the morning, they drew a feeling garden plan with paths and labeled pots. Each jar would have a place to rest. Dr. Brom's chest felt lighter as ideas clicked. Hector stamped a paw print. They dug holes beneath the roots and planted jars like seeds. each labeled with a feeling. Sunlight and brass lamps warmed them. Hector hummed, while Beep's glow watered the jars with gentle puffs of light. One afternoon, a whirl of fog spun through the roots, scattering labels and notes. "I am confusion," it whispered. The workshop hummed with questions. Dr. Brom smiled. "We will sort this together." Little by little, they made labels with simple words and pictures, laying everything out like puzzle pieces. Each friend chose one task. Hector polished jars, Beep arranged lights, and Dr. Brom matched feelings to places, humming a tune. Word spread to nearby animals who peeked into the warm workshop. They asked gentle questions and brought puzzles to share. Dr. Brom welcomed them, offering tea, listening kindly, and pointing to the feeling garden shelf. At the feelings tea, each animal spoke a tiny truth. A squirrel about worry, a mole about pride, a robin about hope. Dr. Brom nodded, Hector passed biscuits, and Beep sprinkled glowing steam over cups. A mouse wrung its paws and admitted it felt tiny and scared. Dr. Brom leaned close, asking gentle questions. Hector offered a crumb of courage. Beep glowed a blue that felt like a warm blanket. Dr. Brom taught everyone slow breaths to make the breath steady and kind. "Breathe in, breathe out," he sang softly. The room slowed. Hector showed clanks as rhythm, and Beep made puffing sounds to follow. Each animal labeled the feeling inside. Saying the word made space. Tears mixed with giggles like rain and sun. Dr. Brom applauded bravery with pride, and Hector placed a wooden star on the shelf there. Dr. Brom built a gentle feeling machine that listened and echoed names back like a friend. It hummed, not bossy. Children could press a button and hear their feelings said loud, feeling seen and held. He wrote a book called The Cozy Workshop of Feelings with pictures and simple steps for naming and sharing. "If you say it, it can shrink," he wrote. The friends drew stars on each page. Dr. Brom and his friends visited the classroom under the beech tree, reading aloud. Children pressed the gentle machine, naming small worries and joys. Faces relaxed. Hector tapped a rhythm. Beep winked like a moon. A shy child raised a hand and said, "I feel shy." Dr. Brom smiled. "Thank you for telling me." The room cheered. Hector handed a star to the child, and Beep hummed a proud note. That night, Dr. Brom sat and felt proud, but aware of more to learn. He stroked Hector's handle, thanked Beep for steady glow. "We will keep learning together," he said, into the warm hush. In the cozy workshop under the roots, old jars glowed peacefully on the feeling garden shelf. Dr. Brom, Hector, and Beep sat together and hummed a small song about naming feelings and being kind always.
Beep glows on the windowsill, casting little rings of light. All the toys lean in and listen to his question in the quiet night. Why do I feel so many things? He breathes into the air. Springs and screws and tiny wings seem to tremble like they care. So he builds a feeling finder with a hopeful shaking hand. Little wheels for every wonder, little wires for what he can't understand.
Will you help me hold my heart?
He asks, the room so small, so bright, as the feeling finder flickers and learns his colors in the night. They hunt through drawers and dusty jars for copper cogs that almost sing. Hector hauls the heaviest parts, Beep blinks at everything. On the page he draws a question mark right beside a crooked gear. Labels one switch joy and laughter, one switch simply being here.
He screws and worry, paints on pride, as lonely on a crooked dial.
He writes, I don't know what to call this, then below it draws a smile.
Still he trusts the feeling finder with his tangled, tender plans.
Little lights for every longing, little leaves for what he can't understand.
Will you help me hold my heart?
He asks again, a little light as the feeling finder flickers and spells his name in gentle light.
Maybe hearts are more than charts, more than labels, more than parts.
Maybe feeling many things is the bravest work of art. So he hugs the feeling finder, but it only hugs him back in glow. And he realizes every answer lives in places only feelings know.
Hector,
Beep,
Beep, I found my heart.
he laughs and almost cries.
Every click and spark and shiver
Was just my love in disguise.
He turns the lamps down, whispers thanks to every quiet, listening face.
Dr. Brom,
His friend,
his feeling,
his feeling.
all humming in the same small